Nobody talks about this, man. Nobody. I haven't come across any content creator, anybody that really talks about the psychological portion of content creation and being a content creator. Like, I don't think I've ever crossed a TikTok or YouTube short or a reel that really digs into the psyche of someone really trying to express themselves through social media and the internet, man. Have you? Maybe you have, and I'm missing it. Maybe I'm not following the right people. Maybe I'm not on social media enough to find the right people that are talking about the side effects of this whole thing of self-expression through the internet, whole thing of self-expression through social media. And that could be from any avenue, podcasting or TikToks or blogs, vlogs, whatever it is, whatever your taste is. I think it spans over the course of multiple industries, not just the internet, but I mean, I'm sure it crosses over to the entertainment industry and cinema. Like, nobody talks about the fight or the struggle or the courage that you have to display to yourself before you can even turn on a camera, before you can even set up your podcast area, before you can even write a title, before you can even do a description, before you can even think about SEO or keywords. You have to display a sense of courage to yourself before that process even starts, bro. It's so tough. I'm telling you, it's tough from my perspective. It might be different for you. Again, I'm just expressing, I guess, my process, expressing what I've experienced over the course of multiple years of trying to be consistent at being a content creator. And I don't even like that phrase. I don't even like that title. I don't even like, I guess, what that role has become. You know, if you're like, I'm a content creator, it's like, oh, okay. You're always going to have your camera on. You're always going to be hip to the trending topics or hip to the trending sounds. And you like, no, I'm a content creator, but I really enjoy just being inspired in the moment. I really enjoy walking and talking, and maybe later on in my reflection, I'm able to pull pieces from what I experienced and then create from there. But I don't necessarily just go full throttle or be gung-ho in the moment and try to record every moment so that I could post it on social media or so I can show my close friends on Instagram what exactly I'm doing. I'm more so leaning towards a reflective content creator. A more reflective content expressionist. I don't even know if that's a word. But I feel like there's not enough. I won't say no one is talking about it, but I do want to say I don't feel like there's enough people talking about the mental struggle or the mental courage, the mental battle, the scuffle that you might have every single time you want to push play or every single time you want to push record. It's tough. It's big. You know, when I think about expressing myself or creating a podcast, you know, I have to reflect on what it is I want to talk about. You know, basically the point. What's the point of the episode? What's the point of the topic? And then once I got that down, then, you know, we talk about awkward moments. So obviously that's not the hard part, figuring out the awkward moments. Once I got the topic or once I got the point, Figuring out the awkward moments is quite easy because that's the piece, I guess that's the biggest piece that's in my face all the time. Most likely, an episode starts at an awkward moment. Like it allows me to say, oh, okay, here's an awkward moment. Now let me piece together a couple of these and we'll go from there. But if I'm starting fresh, clean slate, some people would say, you chiseled out time to create, pick up a pen and you picked up your iPad or whatever, your notes, whatever it is, and you told yourself, okay, we're going to create from here. So creating a blank slate, I have to figure out the point first, and then I'm able to pinpoint awkward moments from that. But from there, pinpointing the awkward moments, and now I got to figure out how I'm going to word it through my description, how I'm going to word it through the title. So not only my community enjoy or is aware of what they are getting themselves into when they click on the episode, but also new listeners or new individuals that come across the content. They have a sense of what's in store. So they don't have to necessarily feel like they gotta waste their time to get involved with the elephant room. You know what I mean? They can do a sound bite, they can do a snapshot of what's happening. So now I have to wrestle through that, and I gotta put things in, I gotta throw things against the wall, and I gotta take things out, and then I gotta smooth it out, and then it comes for a description. Okay, that's cool. Now you gotta record it. And I could be a rogue individual and be like, I'm just going to do audio for our podcast. I'm just going to distribute the podcast through the audio avenues. But I want to give the podcast, I want to give the episodes, I want to give the content I want to give the creation as much opportunity as I can. I want to give it as much opportunity for people to consume it as I can, because, again, that's why I'm doing it. I'm doing it for self-expression. I'm doing it for the individuals that may feel like they're alone, or they don't have community, or they are misunderstood, or the individuals that experience awkward moments all the time and they don't necessarily have a place to talk about them. Do that. So I want to make sure that this gets out to as many people as possible. So obviously I'm pushed to be in front of the camera. Do I feel pretty today? Do I feel handsome? Do I feel beautiful? Do I feel like I'm presentable? Do I feel like I'm able to record myself for a long period of time? Yes, I can do it for 60 seconds. I can do it for 120 seconds. I can do it, for a short stint. But, we push 45 minutes to an hour on every episode. So do I feel like I'm able to uphold this beauty, this standard of beauty that I have for myself? Now, again, this is all self-reflection. This is all self-inflicted. No one has told me, like, yo, you look trash on the podcast, or you look like, why are you dressing like this, or why are you doing that? Or, nobody has said that. Nobody. But again, this is all before I push play. This is all before I set this up. This is all before I get the courage to distribute this to the world 5 times over. It's just the process, Nobody is talking. Not enough people are talking about the process. Not enough people are talking about what it takes to be consistent, what it takes to build successful habits on social media, being a content creator, man. It's just like the lifestyle of the Instagram. Like, individuals like, yo, I get depressed because I see people doing this and going on trips to Bali or going on trips to Tokyo, Dubai, on jet skis, in the Maldives, swimming with the sharks and dolphins. And, I'm sitting in my, my basketball shorts watching TV, eating my TV dinner. Some individuals feel that same way when it comes to content creation. Like, yo, man, Tim the Tap Man, or Marquez Brownlee, Peter McKinnon, man, they just crank this stuff out. They just, they got the crew, or they got the manpower, they got the team, they got so many hands involved in the brand, and I'm just me, you know what I mean? I'm like, their content creation now is work, so they go to work and they get 8 hours minimum to spend on a passion that they love, and they've gotten past the hard part, and now it's just easy for them to just crank out content creation because that's what the world expects from them, and then the world gives them a paycheck to do what they want to do, and what they want to do is content creation. And I want to get there, but I can't, because I got this whole process now to make one piece of content, let alone this is just one avenue of content creation. I'm talking about podcasting. What if I want to do a TikTok? What if I want to do a reel? What if I want to do a blog? What if I want to do a vlog? That's just one aspect. What if I want to stream video games? I got to set up my stream. I got to make sure that I want to play the games or whatever, the games that I want to play. Or maybe I just want to talk. So there's a whole nother process. There's a whole nother avenue that way. But here we just talking about podcasting. What? And if you're listening, you have tips, and you have suggestions, and you have techniques that you experience and that you utilize on a daily basis, please share them in the comments. Share them in the comments. We come for conversation. We come for enlightenment. I never understand individuals that come from an aspect of telling you what you need to do. Never understand individuals that tell you this will work. And I've been that individual before. I've been on that hierarchy mindset where it's like, I'm here. This is what you need to do to have a successful whatever. But what you're really saying is, when you use that terminology, is I'm here, you're below me, let me help you get to where I am and above. And then that's not it. I'm on the journey. I just want to talk about it. I'm on a journey. I just want to talk about it. I'm on a journey. I just want to timestamp along the way. I just want to timestamp along the way, and I just wanted to take a moment just to say, man, not enough people are talking about the courage that you have to display to yourself before you even distribute it or display courage to the world through your content. And I'm getting through it. And the best way I believe that I found to get through it is just to do it. No matter how I feel and no matter what I think I look like or whatever, just do it. Just get it out there. People's attention span are so short that even if you are horrible, or even if you believe that it's not the best, you're doing it to improve you. You're not doing it necessarily to impress people. I'm doing this to sharpen my skill. I'm doing this to learn. I'm doing this to collect data. When I look back and when I think and when I reflect, okay, I did this at this episode and I want to do something different. I did this at this episode and I want to add more of that and then change this, so that over a course of time it's progress. I just want to make progress. I just want to make progress. I just want to focus on the result. I just want to see the result every single time I think about content creation. I want to see the result every time I think about pushing play. I want to see the result every time I think about stepping to this mic and bearing my heart and soul. It's a vulnerable place. It's a vulnerable place to be in front of a mic, to be in front of a camera. It's a vulnerable place to say how you feel. because you can live with one person disagreeing with you, but when that one person turns into 5, and that 5 turns into 35, and that 35 turns into 472, when that 472 turns into 10,000, then you get in some rough area, you know. You get into some rough area, meaning you could question yourself. You start to figure out, but you start to really reflect on your mental toughness. Was that exactly what I meant? Was that exactly how I feel? Was I just thinking? Was I just throwing things against the wall? For a person like me, I'm an individual that talk my thoughts out, meaning I'm not married to one thing. Now, there are things that I feel strongly about, but for the most part, I really want to just listen to what exactly I'm thinking. It's just like writing. You may have a sentence, you may have a paragraph, you may have a poem in your mind, and it may sound a certain way in your mind, but you want to see it on paper. You want to see what it looks like. You want to see exactly how it feels, make it tangible. And so when I'm thinking out loud, or when I'm thinking about my thoughts, or when I'm talking my thoughts out, I'm making it tangible for me to really reflect. It just takes it a step further for me. I just really want to reflect. So when I post these podcast episodes, it gives me a moment to reflect. It gives me a moment, again, not just a timestamp, but a reference. I had a conversation the other day. Somebody was like, yo, man, somebody I haven't seen in a minute. It's like, yo, I remember back in the day, and back in the days, a couple years ago, I remember you was one of the first people that was on podcasting before it became this way of life. And that hit me, man. That hit me because I didn't even know back then. I didn't even know exactly what I had. I didn't know what I was practicing. You know what I mean? I didn't know exactly where I wanted to take podcasting. I didn't have a plan. I just wanted to do this because they wouldn't let me on the radio. To be honest. They wouldn't let me on the radio. Like, I would apply for jobs through the internet for radio personality positions, and I would write in the comment, or like, anything else you want to express, or at the bottom of, let us know why you're interested, or whatever. I mean, like, please schedule a phone conversation with me so you can hear my voice. Like, please, I will change your radio station's future if you would just call me. Like, I just knew I had value in my voice. And not just value in my voice, but I knew that I had a gift, or I have a gift on making people feel comfortable. I have a gift on drawing people in. And I wanted to do that on a radio station. I wanted to be, the midnight love type of guy with R&B jams on deck. I could get you. I could get you with the R&B playlist. Like, please, don't play with me. Do not play in my face about an R&B playlist. I will get you. I will get you with the R&B playlist. Like, it's just not. It's not a competition. There's no fighting it. I will draw you in. I will set the tone. Book me for your wedding. Book me for your engagement party. Book me for your birthday party. I will sit in the cut with my little camera and my phone, and I will play R&B. I will play your party into oblivion. It just is what it is. I just knew I had a gift, and I knew I wanted to distribute, express my gift to the world, and the only way I knew how to do that before podcasting was the radio station. So when they wouldn't give me a chance, wouldn't even call me back or wouldn't even respond to my emails, I was like, okay, cool, what else? And I remember I would just talk to people like, I'm really trying to get into the radio space, but I'm just not having any luck. And they're like, you should podcast. So I started podcasting just because I felt like I had something and I wanted to build community, number one, but also I wanted to just have fun. And I still have fun. And so when that person hit me, it was like, I remember when you was doing podcasting before it became a way of life. I was like, man. And here I am still just wanting to express myself. Now, don't get me wrong. I enjoy making a buck. I enjoy getting revenue. I enjoy money, finances. I do. That wasn't why I started this, but that wasn't why I started this. I hate the word but. That wasn't why I started this. I started this because I wanted to see and understand other individuals that were like me. So that's another thing that helps me continue in search of individuals that are like me, awkward people. And not just awkward people, that is a horrible stereotype. People that experience awkward moments. People that experience awkward moments in what seems a bigger ratio than other people. That's why I started this. And so I focus on that result, man. I focus on that result. I focus on why I started. I focus on the beautiful conversations that could come from this episode. I focus on the laughter that I get from the comments. I focus on the new individuals that I meet every single time I post. And that's on whether it's a TikTok, whether it's a YouTube short, whether it's podcasting, whatever. I stay focused on that result because that feeling is bigger than the fear or the doubt that I experienced before I even push play. That's what helps me. Again, this is not law, and I'm open to individuals that may have other suggestions or may have things that we should try. One thing I got from TikTok that has helped me tremendously, and I remember adults doing it in my younger age, but it just circled back. But even if I'm working from home, even if I'm not going anywhere, I still prep for the day like I got 1,000 errands to run. Aside from showering, aside from washing your face and brushing your teeth, I get full-blown dressed, socks and everything, and I put my house shoes on. It's something about putting my house shoes on that puts me in the mindset of getting things done. It's something about it that allows me to be comfortable enough to be in my home, but not too comfortable where I don't want to do anything. So putting my house shoes on, I'm able to surf the web or create whatever I need to create, whether that's a post, whether that's an email, whether that's a website, whether I need to record, whatever it is. Okay, cool. And then at the end of the day, I don't feel like I wasted it. But I got ready for the day like I had 1,000 things to do outside, but it was really I had 1,000 things to do at home. So I focus on the result, man, and I just focus on what and how to accomplish that. And I try to feel that before doubt sets in, before fear sets in. And also, to continue on with the conversation of my house shoes, my environment reminds me of what I'm trying to do. My environment reminds me, you trying to get here around my spot I have pictures of. I love the city. I love urban living, urban culture. Now let's break that down a little bit. I love the modern lifestyle. So the hustle and bustle of a city. Chicago is my second home. I'm gonna do a whole episode about it. But Chicago is my second home. DC is my third home. Like, I love the hustle and bustle. I love the energy of a city. LA, I flew into LA one time, and from the plane we were landing, you know how you can get at a certain altitude and you can basically see the city without, it's like you at a helicopter's height, a little further up. Let's say you're at a blimp's height, enough to where I know, like, okay, I'm looking at the Coliseum, or I'm looking at SoFi, I'm looking at downtown, I'm looking at the Nokia Theater, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, I can see, I can chisel out exactly what part of the city I'm looking at. But anyway, when I got to that altitude, I could feel the energy of the city. I could feel LA. And I loved it. Like, I enjoy that. So when I did, I put a bunch of portraits around my spot that have the skylines. So I have Midtown looking into downtown. That's New York City. I have the Chicago skyline. I have so many things on my phone, on my computer, or my desktop wallpapers, just reminding me, yo, you're trying to get here one day. You're trying to have the option to fly on a morning's notice. Yo, I need to go to New York. Let me see what Delta for. I only want to fly Delta. I only want to fly Delta. I want to remind myself and remind everyone else. I only want to fly Delta. Please. Delta is just my thing. You know what I mean? Some individuals like Adidas over Nike. Some individuals like Jordan over Adidas. I enjoy Delta. If I'm flying, it's Delta. If you know I'm coming into your city and we about to link, no, I'm flying Delta. So wherever the terminal is, where Delta is, that's where I'm gonna be. Just so you know. But my environment reminds me of where I'm trying to go. My environment allows me to see myself in the future. And if you would allow me to manifest in this moment for a second, I plan to podcast. I plan to do that on these extravagant areas or these extravagant locations. I plan to podcast with Dumbo in my background. That's New York City, if you didn't know. I plan to podcast at the Jazz and Lincoln Center. That's Central Park in New York City, with Billionaires Row in my background. I plan to podcast on Billionaires Row in one of their extravagant buildings. I plan to go to San Diego and podcast on one of the beaches. I plan to go to the National Mall in Washington, D.C. and podcast. I plan to go to Houston, H-Town, and see where I could podcast, most likely at Trio Burgers. If you haven't had Trio Burgers or you don't know what it is, look it up. Change your life. I plan to go back to Las Vegas, even though I'm not a fan of the casinos. I plan to go back and podcast at a Topgolf or podcast somewhere where you can see the Strip in my background. Most likely the MSG Sphere or something, But I'm manifesting it. I'm letting you know that that's what I plan to do, and that my environment reminds me of that. My environment lets me know, yo, this is where you're trying to go. And every single day is the opportunity. Every single day is the fuel. Every single day is your energy to get here, to get there, to make it happen. Every single day is opportunity to step forward to where you're trying to go. So when I step forward in making progress in my podcasting, or in making progress in creating videos, creating posts or whatever, that's another step closer to me getting on the plane. I'm one step closer to sitting in first class on that plane. One step closer to chilling and ordering Uber Black to get to wherever I need to go. One step closer to locking in a vital meeting on my calendar. One step closer to having a great, amazing conversation with new and people like me. One step closer to creating opportunities for other individuals that come across my way. Another step closer to creating a podcast studio, or creating an area, creating a space where individuals can express themselves without the worry or without the weight of finances. So my environment reminds me of where I'm trying to go. And also it reminds me of where I'm not trying to be. To be honest, it reminds me of where I'm not trying to be. Yo, you're not trying to go back to where you was. You're not trying to go back without without money in your bank account. You're not trying to go back to not having a car. You're not trying to go back to riding the bus anymore. Now, I love public transportation. I love what it stands for. I love the accessibility and what it provides. I love the thought of jumping on a train in one area and, for $2-3, I'm in a whole nother area. You know what I mean? And some individuals can give and take that because they're like, yo, you paying $2-3 or whatever, and you could just drive and pay gas. And some individuals are like, yo, I don't want to pay gas. I'd rather pay these $3 and then worry about, or not even just worry about, but just deal with being on a train or being on a bus with people that I don't know. That's up to you to decide. But for me, my core is like, yo, you don't want to have to depend on public transportation. You want the option to take it if you want, but you don't want to have you don't want to have to depend on it anymore, because you've been there. You're not trying to go back to it. You're not trying to go back to just having to depend on ramen noodles or have to depend on Spam or ham sandwiches, bologna sandwiches, eating hot dogs on regular bread. You want to have the option to choose hot dog buns. You want to have the option to have lasagna instead of just having spaghetti and sugar. So my environment allows me to see where I'm trying to go, but it also reminds me where I came from and where I'm not trying to go back to. And again, this is my process. This is the process of podcasting. And I'm only choosing this area because that's where we at. But this is my process. This is what you got to go through. It's a vulnerable thing. And I'd rather talk about it openly than to let y'all feel like, hey man, he's got it all together. It is hard. White man can't jump. It is hard work to look this pretty. No, it's hard work to look this good. It's hard work to make it look this effortless. It's hard work to make it look like this is just all bread and butter, shrimp, steaks, and mimosas. It's hard work to do this consistently. It's hard work. Ladies, ask your man, is it hard work not to come? Like you to hit this consistently without stopping, without changing positions, without just straight strokes. Is it hard to give consistent? What he gonna say? I'm just saying. I gotta, you gotta give you gotta give the visuals sometimes. You gotta give the visuals. You gotta present the case. You know what I'm saying? You gotta make sure that judge slams the gavel because you gave an amazing argument. You gotta present the facts, I was just about to apologize for that example, but no, that's real. That's real. Like you want that? Take the real. Take the real, baby. You know what I mean? So my environment allows me to see where I'm trying to go, but also reminds me of where I've been and where I'm not trying to go back to. And sometimes I'll be for real. I'll be honest. Sometimes I put myself in not situations, but I take myself back to the areas that I don't want to go back to. I take public transportation just to remind myself, yo, this used to be the only way you can get around the city. I go to the areas that I used to frequent at. Like, I remember, bro, we here. I remember walking in downtown Minneapolis during rush hour. That's when people get off of work. And being so inspired by people taking the express buses that just travel on the highways and go to the parking ramps. Watching people, business people, lawyers and doctors and whatever else, your business blue collar individuals, watching them get on the express bus and going home. Because I didn't have a job like that. So I traveled the skyways. I traveled the skyways, and skyways are basically, they're bridges that go from one building to the next, and we have harsh winters here in Minnesota. So during the winter, you don't have to travel outside if you don't want to when you're in a certain vicinity in downtown Minneapolis. So when you're in downtown Minneapolis, you can take these skyways, from one building to the next and not have to touch outside. So I would travel these sky bridges, these skyways, just to be around these individuals because, number one, I didn't have a job like that. Number two, it inspired me to get a job like that just to be an individual that got on the express bus to go home. So sometimes there are times where I go downtown and kick it in the skyways. Now, kick it means like I might go grab a bite to eat, or I might, go to a game or an event downtown. But before that event, I'll be in the skyways just to remind myself, like, yo, this used to be you. You used to know exactly which buildings to go to use the restroom, because obviously a lot of the buildings now, back then it was a little different, but a lot of buildings now don't have public restrooms. So I used to know, okay, I go to this hotel, they got bathrooms on the 3rd and 5th floor. I go to this building, you go to the 6th floor and they got a bathroom for you, just because that was my day. That was what I like to do. That's what I got a kick out of, just being downtown, just being and watching and wondering about people's lives, really. There's this restaurant called The Bank. It's still downtown too. And The Bank is on the street level, and it's real dark. And in the middle of the bank, it used to be a bank, now it's a restaurant. In the middle of the bank, there's a bar, and it's like you can call it an oval shape, and it's lit. It's brighter than the other areas in the restaurant. And you can see, or you can look down into the restaurant from the skyway level. And I used to just sit and watch, people drink their drink, or happy hour or whatever, in their suits and ties and business casual attire, and just wonder, like, yo, where do they live? What do they drive? What are they doing after this? Do they have to pick somebody up from school? Do they have to go home and mow their lawn, or do they go home and just chill in their basement? How big is their house? How far do they live from here? Like, I used to get a kick out of it. Like, that's what I used to love to do, because it gave me so much inspiration. But again, it's what I had time for. So now I'm so grateful to being in a different position and being able to create a life that I have. I've created a life that I've always wanted, and I'm expanding. I'm growing. even as we speak about. But again, my environment always allows me to see, like, yo, this is where you're trying to go. This is where you've been. And this is what you're not trying to go back to. This is not what you're trying to go back to. But even if you don't, let's say you start the process. Let's say I tried to start the process. Even today, like I said, even today, it was just such a battle. And let's say I didn't get to record. Let's say I just gave up. Let's say I just say, hey, another day and I'll get back to it. I still take it easy on myself, you know. I think that's the work that I've done thus far, is I've built enough cushion to give myself a little grace, you know what I mean? Not just a little grace. I'm trying really hard not to diminish how I feel. So when I make a decision, I try really hard to not say, like, do you want to go to the store? No. Sorry. Like, no, I'm not sorry because I don't want to go to the store. You know what I mean? Like, do you want to do this restaurant? I don't want to do this restaurant. Sorry. I'm not sorry because I don't want that. So to give myself grace, and not just a little grace, but as much grace as I need. My life is built to this moment where I've allowed myself grace and to make it how I want it, to create exactly how I want it to be. So hopefully, this is my hope, that if you're watching this and then you're in this similar situation or you're in a similar boat that I am, that you give yourself grace, man. Take it easy. If you say you need a day, take 2 days. If you say you need an hour, take 6 hours. If you say you need to take a fast from social media, take as much time as you need. And don't feel like you need to explain yourself. You don't need to explain yourself. You owe you exactly what you need without an explanation to anybody. Take it easy, man. And trying to find, I try to find as many easy ways to do things. As easy, I try to make it as easy as I can on myself. So not just only giving myself grace or making sure that I know that I can breathe a little bit, but even trying to brainstorm content ideas or even come up with keywords or even remembering moments that I may forget. I try to add processes. I try to insert structures. So using notes apps or using AI, doing everything I can so that I alleviate as much weight, as much stress off me as I can. The big conversation for the past 15 years has been technology. Social media is horrible for you. Your eyes are going bad because you're looking at so much computer time, or you're looking at so many computer screens. I mean, but okay, let's flip that and let's benefit from all that. Let's make sure that we write down everything that we can so that we don't forget meaningful things. When we meet new people, let's make sure we put them in our phone exactly at the time that we meet them so that we don't forget. And then we have that awkward moment when we see them again and we don't remember their name, we don't remember their number, we don't remember why we even connected, but we remember each other's faces. We alleviate that. Take advantage of the technology that's at our hands, that we have integrated in our lives already. That's why I have a phone already. I pay the phone bill already. I'm going to utilize it. I'm going to make it work for me. Not just to make phone calls, not just to make text messages, not to just scroll on social media, but I'm going to make it my workhorse. You're gonna hold all my content ideas in my notes app. You're gonna hold all my drafts in my videos. You're gonna hold all the photos that I take, whether I decide to share it or not. You're gonna hold this, not me. I'm not gonna hold this in my mind. Besides concerts are a little different for me. I record the beginning of a concert and then I stop recording because I want to live in the moment. And I take photos because I love photography. I take photos because I want to remember moments, not necessarily for the purpose of distributing the items on social media. Yeah. I try to make sure that the things that I have, the things that make my life go, work for me. And that I'm not a prisoner or a victim of those things. Again, example, my phone, okay. I'm gonna make sure that I get as much benefit out of this phone as I can. And it's not just phone calls and text messages. I'm gonna make sure that I do all I can to live an easy life and take it easier on myself. Now, as I grow, as I progress, the standard changes and I'm able to do more and I'm able to delegate more. I'm able to make sure that things are done in a more consistent manner because it's gotten easier. But for right now, I'm taking my time, and that's okay. I'm taking my time, and that's fine. I can accept that. I can accept that. I can accept that. I want to take my time. Another thing, and this is my last thing, and I'm gonna get out of here. Again, my life is structured in a way that I'm able to make a living, create a life for myself without leaving my house, if I don't want to. Without leaving my house, and that's a beautiful thing, that I have the choice to leave or not. But one thing that sticks with me, even right now, is that I do so many things. I make a living by assisting other organizations and consulting with other individuals. If I'm going to do all of this for them, why not do it for myself? If you're a project manager for Amazon, if you're a project manager for some big organization, or people come to you for organizing things or making sure things get done, why not do it for you? If that's what you want to do, if that's what you have in mind, and you might say like, yo, I do it so much all day for other people that when it's time for me to do it, I'm drained. Find a way to put you in there too. If you're a social media manager and you're doing so many postings for so many other organizations, slide in your brand too. Just, you know what I mean? You don't have to spend all day on it, but put you in there too. You do it for somebody else already. Why not do it for you? Why not do it for you, man? Isn't that beautiful that you could be compensated to do something for yourself while you do your other job? You know what I mean? Like, you're dedicated, you're committed to the job. You spend 8 hours a day, 5 days a week on there. Why not just slide you in there? Do it on your lunch break. If you feel like it's not ethical to work on your stuff on company time, do it on your lunch break then. Do it on your lunch break. Do it on your lunch break. But put you in there too. And that's just a suggestion. That's just a suggestion. Like I said, if you got another way, share it in the comments. If you got other things or other techniques to be productive with time management, share it in the comments. Why not? Put you in there. Get you in there. You do it for other people, do it for you. You owe you. You owe you. You owe you. Nobody's gonna wanted more for you than you owe you. I owe me. I remind myself of that every day. I owe me. I do. Me has gone through so much. Me has gone through an obstacle time and time again. Me has scratches and scars throughout time and has healed. And we're still breathing. We're still moving. We're still making people laugh. We're still making people feel good. We're still one of the smartest people. We're still one of the smartest people in the room. So why not? Why not do it for you? So I do. Consulting, whatever. I make sure that, okay, that's a reminder for me. Hey, you're doing this for so many other people. Don't forget about you. Don't forget about you. Don't forget about you. That's a reminder to me. Don't forget about you. You're doing so many things for other people. You're doing so many things for your family. You're doing so many things for this friend, that friend, calling you in the middle of the night. You're dropping people off, picking people up from the airport. Don't forget about you, man. Don't forget about you. Don't forget about you. Don't forget about you. You every now and then people come across your mind and you hit a text or you hit a DM and hey, I don't even want nothing. I'm just seeing how you doing. I love you. Peace. Don't forget about you. Don't forget to look yourself in the mirror after you get done brushing your teeth, after you get done washing your face, after you get out of the shower. Don't forget to just look at yourself and say, hey, I love you. I want the best for you. I want to make it happen for you. I want to make you proud. And I don't want to live with regrets. So I want to make this promise to you that it's going to happen. Don't forget about you. You know what I mean? Don't forget about you. And I continuously say this because it's a reminder for me. I want to continue to say that as well because you got to repeat things for people. For yourself too. Don't forget about you. Don't forget about you. I mean, and we've been there. I've been there where I had that epiphany like, wait, who am I? Wait, where am I? Where am I mentally? Like how did I even get into this space? Where am I mentally? Where am I in my decision making? How did X, Y, and Z? How did person 1, 4, 5, 7 get in front of me in my decision making? How do I find myself consulting with you about my life? How did I get here? Who am I? Don't forget about you. Don't forget about you. It feels good to me to remind myself. And this is the feeling that I'm talking about. You're looking at the feeling that I was talking about in the beginning. I feel good being at this place. I feel good getting comfortable in this place, in the distribution, in the expression of content. I feel good understanding my thoughts, understanding where that feeling comes from. Because sometimes you could just be working and be like, yo, I feel off. Yo, I'm not feeling it. And you're like, why do you feel like that? I don't know. It's this place right here that we don't necessarily get to experience often because we have to create it. I have to create this. You know, it's like getting a telephone call and when you first pick up, you're like, where's this conversation going, or what do they need? And then once you really get in the think of the conversation, once you get in the thick of it, you're like, oh, okay. And now you look up and it's 2.5 hours on the phone and you're like, yo, how did this happen? You got comfortable. You understood where you were going in the conversation. You understood the purpose. You understood the focus. And sometimes we got to create that for ourselves. And that's why, for me, that's why it's so hard to start the process in the beginning. Trying to etch it out, trying to create the outline, trying to create the skeleton, and then put life into it because I'm not in it. I'm not in it. You know, I'm Iron Man. I'm not in the suit yet, so it's hard for me to understand the functionality. It's hard for me to understand where I'm going, or It's hard for me to understand the potential because I'm not in it. I gotta get in it. But if sometimes sometimes when you in it, or when you don't do that prep work and then you just get in it, it could go so many different ways and you don't even know where you're going. So you're just driving. And then the episode just looks and sounds horrible because somebody walking away like, the title said this, but he ended up talking about shrimp and sushi. I was supposed to be talking about algorithms and awkward moments on the internet, and he was talking about sushi and egg rolls. My bad, I jumped in it. I didn't prep. I jumped in it a little bit, too much. I was, I just got to do it. And again, I'm getting out of your way. Just gotten to do it, meaning every single thing that I talked about, the process, the recording, the feeling, I just got to do that more. And the more that I do it, the easier it'll come. So I appreciate the discovery on this episode, man. I love y'all from the bottom to the top of my heart. This is the Elephant Room. I love you, and I'm grateful for you. Thank you for spending time with me. If this added any value to you in your life, share it with your people. Share it with anybody that you feel like will get a kick out of it and have something to contribute. Follow me on all social media platforms, PHILXPRY. So much more to come. Again, I love being here. And I love it so much. I'm not afraid to take time or step away from it so that I can add more value to it. And that's something that I accept as well. So if you look at it and like, yo, he inconsistent with his posts, or what is he doing? Or there's times where he's just high and dry or whatever. Hey, I love it so much that I'm able to take my time with it. I love it so much that I'm able to ease into it. I love it so much that I'm able to make sure that I'm putting my best foot forward, even in the process, even if it's like, I just got to get it out. That's putting my best foot forward because I know exactly what I need to do. And I hope the same thing for you. If it's something that you got going on, I hope that you know that you can put your best foot forward. You can make it happen. Share this. Subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcasts, on all platforms. Let me know how you feel in the comments if you're watching this on YouTube. And again, this is the Elephant Room. My name is Philip Conley Jr. It's lovely. Trying out new formats. I really am. Trying out new formats. This is a Minnesota goodbye. Trying out new formats. I ain't even do an intro in the beginning. I just jump right in. And we'll see how that goes. There's so many things that says the Elephant Room on it before you click on it. So why not? But there's so many formats that I want to try, and I'm going to try them all. I got a lot of ideas, and I'm going to try them all. I'm going to accomplish them all. Call it delusional. Call it, what is that? Call it, what is that? There's a term for when it's just you and your mind. I can't remember. But call it delusional. Call it what you want. But I'm going to make it happen. Continue to ride with me, and let's see what works. So, from the bottom to the top of my heart, I love you. I'm out of here. I appreciate y'all. I really just wanted to push it to an hour. To be honest, let me be honest. I really wanted to test and push my boundary and say, yo, do an hour. Don't stop recording until it's an hour. So you're watching this process, full frame, full focus that, hey, he stuck it out for an hour. He did what he said he was going to do. Hey, this is just a part of the process. This is just a part of me building the callus, building the habits that I want to build to be successful in whatever it is I'm trying to be successful in. Right now, it's podcasting. So I appreciate y'all, man. For real. Again, I'm your host, Philip Conley Jr. Until next time, I'll see y'all later. Peace.